Welcome to Internet Insanity. We got some fascinating developments today. I'm gonna go through most of them. I saw Arch doubling down on his stance on allowing mods to exist on the internet, which apparently now is a controversial issue. You know, up until now, it was like, yeah, obviously mods should exist on the internet. But since 3 days ago, it's like, which mods? That are they bad mods? Do they sponsor the degeneration? It's like, if they sponsor the degeneration, of course they shouldn't be allowed. We need to have leftist companies crack down and use censorship. And Arch is against that. And so he's getting unsubscribed. Hopefully the storm will pass. His channel will be revitalized. In the meantime, we get New York. New York, I think, is like a person running for governorship, right? He always smiles. In Europe, we absolutely detest, and I mean this with a huge passion, people who are smiling all the fucking time. It's a red flag. Like, no one is this happy, you know? So like, if you're like this, like in America, I think it's considered charismatic, where as we're going to see in the video here,
and to put someone
right, using various arm motions, like you flap your arms all the time, you end up every single sentence with a big smile. In America, it's called charisma. In Eastern Europe, it's like, watch the fuck out. Like, this guy is trying to sell you something. This guy, you know, no one is this happy. Like, no one is this happy, right? People are miserable. And so, if we see our leaders being this level of happy, like something is going on, something's like the red flag, distrust, do not believe. Yes, we have Hassan Piquer. Hassan Piquer is talking with politicians. Well, politicians want to be. He hasn't been elected, but who knows? Who knows? Like, maybe he does get elected, and then Hassan will have friends in high places. Won the party preliminary vote, so he's the candidate from the party. Okay, well, who's he running against? Well, hold on. If he's the New Yorker and he ran the primary vote, that means that he's going to be the elected person. Like, you don't have Republicans winning in New York, right? In what temperature are they even sitting in? I don't fucking know. I think it's well, like what is the weather in New York? It's usually normal. We got another interesting news. Like, this one is something I can't wait to talk about. Candace says he got a personal call from President Donald Trump urging her to stop talking about Brigitte. Stop talking about Brigitte, Candace. Apparently, she is stalling the Ukraine talks. This is big if true. Big if true. Like, I want you to understand what is being discussed here, right? Like, currently, there are millions of people engaged in the Ukrainian conflict. Thousands of people get killed or wounded. And there needs to be peace talks, like a resolution. Like, what are we doing here? How long are we killing each other? Huh? How long are we massacring? Like, we need to find something. Like, let's find the common ground. But apparently, like, Macron is saying, look, I can't negotiate properly. Brigitte is on my ass. She's spanking me. She's spanking me like she did in the airport. She's spanking me. Trump, get your women in control. Get your women in America in control. Apparently, Trump picked up the phone, told Candace, you need to stop this shit. You need to stop this shit right now. Yeah, I mean, I guess she is influencing world politics. Like, if she's doing psychic damage, like a sakubasu to the French president. Fucking hell. Macron is a super simp. I don't know, man. Like, I'm starting to think, like, this idea of, like, the perfect Chad and the perfect simp. I think, like, people are people. You know, some people have happy marriages, other people focus on their career, other people focus on becoming the president of one of the most powerful nations on earth. It is what it is. You know, you can't ask a person to fit in all shoes. Like, I'm not going to diss Macron. He is the president of France. You know, people keep electing him. He must be doing something correctly. To be fair though, if the opposite was true, I love this expression. If the opposite was true, can you imagine if Macron would have spanked Brigitte in the airport? Huh? Like the presidential smack. That would have been treated much more differently. If the woman smacks the man, no one cares, right? Yeah. V found a nice photo of the lady. She looked good. Well, like when Brigitte was a young maiden, she looked good. I need to see this. What's her name? Brigitte Macron? No, what's Macron's family name? Brigitte France Young. I want to see a picture of her young. Was she a catch? Am I even allowed to rate, or do we not rate anymore? Like you're not supposed, like you're supposed to rate men on success, on a football player you can rate them, but for some reason if you say how attractive or unattractive a woman is, that's misogyny, right? I found the picture. So, according to modern terms, while I do have opinions, I am not allowed to share them, right? Like, I have to be polite. Anything I say can and will be used against me in the court of public opinion. So, I cannot rate. She is the most beautiful woman in the world. More beautiful than your mother. Okay? Your mother is shit compared to her. Like, she is the alpha of all women. There. I don't think, like, anyone would attack me for saying that, right? Like, that's not misogyny. If you're a leftist watching this, your mother, Brigitte, beautiful. Aspirational. Your mother would want to look like her. There we go. At least compared to British women, I will say this. She can smile with a full face. I have seen other British women that usually have a coy smile. Like, they smile like a fox. Brigitte, not at all. Like, she can smile with a full face. This was when she was young. Like, this was, I think, 600 years ago. Right? Now she looks a little bit different. Again, I don't know if I'm allowed to do this. Because usually, like, society's rules change. Like, back in the day, you would be able to talk about something like that. However, today, it's a little bit more complex. You know, the rules change. Culture is now different. Apparently, Candace always gets phone calls from Donald Trump. Stop talking about this lady. Right. So, like, what? This is 1,200, and this is 2025. Okay. Again, I'm not allowed to say anything. It's, but this is, like, what? The slapper, right? Like, she slapped Macron in the airport. The public slapper. Awful, but married? I see. Hello, Aristocratic Cthulhu. Welcome to the show. Haven't seen you in ages. She looks busted by age? She looks like a bottle of French wine. Is French wine still good, though? Like, seriously, I'm... Ever since, modernization, I've noticed that almost all the wine kind of tastes the same. Like, if you go to the supermarket and you buy wine, you know, like, okay, yeah, there's like a different flavor in the taste. But, like, most wine kind of tastes the same, unless you go for, like, really expensive shit. You usually have, like, sweet wine, or you have, like, that bitter wine. But, like, all in all, it's still wine, you know? Like, I've yet to taste a bottle of wine that I go like, oh my god, this is... Liu, 821, thank you for becoming a member. She has the red shoes haircut. Shut the fuck up. Don't you fucking compare my waifu with Brigitte. Brigitte is a goddess. My waifu is shit. And so I don't want my waifu to be placed in the same category as Brigitte. Anyway. Gargura. Saba. 1 million subscribers. Let's listen to Asmon Gold. So that's Asmon Gold. That's Asmon Guild. Is responding to a vicious attack. This just in. This the breaking news, chat. Breaking news.
And not a game I'll play.
Hey everyone, Operators is coming October 13th.
So you trying to make me look bad because of my chat, but you don't want to look bad because of your friend that you told to drink alcohol at your party for drinking alcohol, that's sexually harassed your
Yeah, usually people, they just pick up the talking point. You know, streamer bad, chat bad, therefore streamer bad. Streamer should be locked up. Look at me, I am good, my chat good, his chat bad. This is like the philosophical conversation of 2025. But no one is thinking about the implications. It's like, okay, if you're going to judge other people based on their chat, which, again, you know, you can't really decide who gets in or not or out on an instant basis. Like, you can have moderators, but anyone can go into the chat and spam whatever. But like your friends, you knew your friend. You associated, you fucking monster. You brought him into your house. You endangered the public. You poured alcohol knowing that his brain is weak and incapable of handling him. And then the sexual assault happened and it is not your friend's fault. It is yours, for you are responsible. Your friend was a sex pest. He is not responsible. See, like, if I'm taking the philosophy to 2025 standards, apparently a person with critical thinking applying the same thing everywhere, this is what they should think, right? Fucking God. God, I hate modern culture. And I hate the way people think. And this whole thing, it's like, oh, you're bad. Why? Your chat. Oh, you're bad. Why? The party and the people you invited. It's like, okay, but what about the actual person? Like, shouldn't we attack him? That like aren't people responsible for their actions anymore? No. Like, when a person does an action, it's collateral damage. It's like a fucking nuclear explosion among their entire circle of friends. Every one of them should be purged. All right. Well, I hope you have good friends, Don. I hope no one does something bad in your chat.
coworkers. Now, I just find that to be interesting.
Everyone finds that to be interesting.
I do.
Do you notice how Asmongold grew the biggest balls ever since Trump got elected? Like, I remember when Asmongold was like a little mademoiselle. He played one of my videos, heard me talk some shit about an HR lady, his pucker clenched and instantly closed my video. Right, now, too spicy. The troll is too spicy. Ever since Trump got elected, Asmongold is like 10 times more spicy than I could ever be. And I have a feeling that in private he is even more spicy. I'm just saying, like, he got testicular cancer ever since DJ Trump is in office.
You trying to put me on blast and make me look bad because some people in my chat said some dumbass bullshit. But here you are, and that's your friend. You invited that guy. You knew he was drunk. You knew he was...
You know what I like? I generally don't give a shit about any of this. Not my country. I didn't do the crime. No one there was a victim that's associated with me in any way. But I have the opportunity to be outraged. I got the opportunity to go after another person that's a cancel pick. How dare he invite that friend? What was he thinking? What a monster. Can you imagine, like, this person is on the internet, he's talking, your children could look at him. Your children can get influenced by this guy. Think it's a good idea to invite people at parties and then get them wasted. Knowing that, right? I'm just saying, it's wonderful to be on the other side of the cancel culture. It's wonderful to, like, hear Asmongold give me a reason to be outraged. Having a bad day, chat. Having a fucking bad day. You know, like, my son made the mess, had to clean up after him, had to do grocery shopping. You know, like, my shopping bag broke. Fucking broke. I don't have a car like rich people. I still walk, you know, and I came from the shopping store. Shopping bag broke. I got a lot of pent-up anger and anxiety, and I'm hearing Asmongold like, this person hurt me. I don't even need to know why. I don't even fucking care at this point. I'm like, did he? All right. Well, what's the gig? He invited someone at a party. Oh, outrageous. Out-fucking-rageous. I'm going to go and tell everyone on the internet, look what this guy did. What an asshole. Again, I don't fucking care. I just need an outlet. And so I'm starting to understand that maybe this is how cancel culture worked for the left. You know, like maybe they too had bad days and shit. And they go on the internet and they just need a target. They just need someone to be a decent target for their outrage. Ludwig knew he was an alcohol addict, clean for 10 weeks. Why do I care? Am I God now, judging Ludwig's actions? Am I the police? No. I don't fucking care. He did dumb shit. Okay, wow. A human being did dumb shit. Let me get my shock face. Let me get, a human being did dumb shit. I don't fucking care. Now, if he was my son, I would care. If he was my neighbor, I would probably care a little bit less. He's not even in my area. I don't even know who Ludwig is, Chad. I don't fucking care. Right? Did he do a drive-by shooting? No. Did anyone die? No. Well, then the law can handle it. Like, I come when the law can't handle shit. Right? Like, if there is something that the law can't handle, then I come, I will make a video, and I will go like, outrageous. But until then, you know, hold the leftists to their standards. Well, I am, aren't I? Like, am I not making this video right now? Again, I'm telling you I don't care, but at the same time, I am holding them to their standards. Even though I don't care. Like, I can cancel people without caring. See, that's the magic. Like, the left pretends to care. I'm telling you, I don't fucking give a shit. But, I have a lot of pent-up anxiety, and I am willing to go on the internet and be like, how dare he? Oh, this is awful. I don't need to care to type things, you know? Like, I generally cannot care, but also type, yeah. I mean, this is, how dare he go after Asmongold? Yeah, this is unthinkable. This is right? Like, it's like a superpower, I know. It's a drive-by canceling, chat. It's a drive-by canceling. When you you just come in, it's like, what? And there's people explaining me, like, Novi, you don't understand. Like, he knew his friend was drunk. Like, motherfucker, I already said I'm canceling. Like, you don't need to convince me. I don't care, right? Even if he didn't do, irrelevant. All I know is that he's a cancel pig. He tried to go after Asmongold. That's the only thing I know. The only thing I care. I'm like in Breaking Bad, you know, when Mike tells Jesse, it's like you woke up, that's how you find it, that's the only thing you know, right? So like the only thing I know is that he wanted to cancel Asmongold. I don't need to know anything else. I don't care what Asmongold did. I don't care what that guy did. Just give me the story to tell the masses. That's it. Now, see, you're not a cancel pig if you go after other people that cancel. It's kind of like self-defense, right? You're not a violent person if you defend yourself. That's my standard. It's like, if you go after someone that already canceled someone, then that's fine. It's kind of like the difference between being a pacifist and being harmless. Like a person that never does violence and can't defend themselves, that's not a pacifist, that's a harmless person. But a person that is capable of being a monster and beating the living shit out of you but chooses not to, that's a pacifist. And so this is how you solve the paradox of tolerance. I'm tolerant to anyone that doesn't cancel. The moment you canceled, I stop being tolerant. Very simple. I have no idea what V means with canceling. Oh, moral outrage on the internet. How dare you? Like, how is this person allowed to talk? Why is this person allowed? Why are we allowing? How, you know, like, look at what he did. He got a friend drunk at a party and then that person sexually harassed. Why is Twitch allowing this? Huh? That, right? Like, I don't care. Don't care about the party. Don't care about anything else. The only thing I care is that he went after Asmongold. That's it. I can pretend to be a Karen better than most Karens. Who says that Ludwig is not allowed to talk? I do. Why should he be able to talk? I mean, look, he got a friend at a party. Was drunk. Sexually harassed someone. Why would you want... Why are you defending that? Are you a rape apologist? What is wrong with you? You're watching Ludwig? You're a rape apologist. Let him fucking go. I know all the tricks. I've studied feminism since 2016. I know all the talking points. In other words, V is saying that he is a dangerous man who chooses to be peaceful. He is no longer allowed to be permitted to do so. Asmongold is just making fun of Ludwig because he encouraged his friend to lose control, then abandon him after he lost all of his value. You just described 80% of Eastern Europe. even kidding. And like, you probably described the entire nation of Russia while you're at it. Like what you described is just typical behavior at the Russian party. I'm not even kidding. Like, I wish I was, but I'm not. But still, I will act surprised. I will do the Pikachu face and demand that justice commences. Let's look at Hassan. Now, this one is even more interesting. All right, here we go.
Fiscally, if we're talking about the fiscal cost, it costs New York City more than $500,000 a year to incarcerate someone on Rikers. And to put someone in a year of supportive housing, it's about $50,000 a year.
Are we going to bring medieval punishment back, or like what they do in Saudi Arabia? Seriously though, like I genuinely wonder if corporate punishment isn't better. I know it's controversial, but can we have the conversation? No, seriously, I just want to have the conversation. It's like it's theory only. I'm not saying, like, I can't even vote for it, right? Like, there's no one insane enough like me to suggest something like this. But what I am trying to say is that for probably 5,000, if not 6,000 years, the way humanity used to deal with crime was that if you commit crime, you get lashes. If you commit serious crimes, you get a hand cut. You know, like, this still happens in the Middle East. Like, it's not something that I'm saying out of a fairy tale. Like, this is literally what happens, right? And so, the way we apply punishment, we consider it just, right? Like, we consider it fair. But, like, have anyone, like, ever been part of the conversation? Because apparently, like, the justice system we have is something we inherited. And so, here's what I think. Is it more humane? Like, is it actually better to lock up a person in maximum security? Like, you're locking them in a cell. They have nothing to do but to look at the walls, and maybe they have 1 hour of yard time. So is that fair? And you lock them for years. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Versus 50 lashes. In public. Maximum humiliation. Now, if you were to receive the punishment, right? Like, you're the one that's going to receive it. What would you like? Would you like years of your life taken away? Or would you just take the lashes? Because I'm thinking, like, if you did something bad, like, after 10 years, you probably don't even remember what the fuck you did. And you regret it, and it doesn't fucking matter, right? I just think, like, it's never going to happen, obviously. Like, no one is going to do like 100% prison reform. But what I'm saying is, like, is there a scientific method that shows that locking people up actually is the best way to do things? Now, here's the thing, and this is what I also think. I think that not all crimes are the same. Like, this is the biggest mistake that I see Westerners do when talking about crime, especially leftists. Like, in this situation, Zohran Mamdani believes that crime is due to poverty, right? So, like, people are poor and they commit crime. Well, let's talk about the crime we discussed earlier, right? You have a person going at a party, and they're drinking alcohol, and they sexually harass someone. At which point would more money help the problem? Huh? Like, if you gave the person more money, would that... No, obviously, right? Now, if it was in Saudi Arabia and he got 10 lashes, do you think he would drink more at other parties? Probably not. I'm just saying, you know... But still, the idea is that there are different types of crimes, right? You have crimes of opportunity. Like, someone walks on the ground and they find a suitcase filled with money. And they decide to keep it. That's a crime of opportunity. Someone is in a bus and they see that in front of them there's a guy with their wallet in their back pocket. That's a crime of opportunity. Then you have crimes of passion. You come home and you find another man sitting on top of your wife. He's a black gentleman. Name is Big Booba. And he looks at you, what you want, fool. And, like, that's a crime of passion. Like if you lose control after that, and you decide to shift 6 mana and play the enrage card, that's a crime of passion. there are indeed like crimes of of financial need. For instance, you grow up in a neighborhood, your mama isn't there, you don't get an education, and in order to show that you're a man, you gotta join a gang, and you make money with that. Okay, well, that's a different thing, right? Like that would be a crime in which you can say that is done due to poverty. But let's listen to this, because this is interesting.
Here, right? There's no
You put him in a
incentive.
penthouse for that kind of price.
That's an incredible amount of money.
I feel like I wouldn't do any crimes if I was in a penthouse.
if you had $500,000, it's a lot of money.
If give me the $500,000, I'm not doing crimes. What? Why? How about?
Hassan, I'm just saying, you skimmed the line on the sending death threats to sitting U.S. politicians. I think you would do that from a penthouse, yeah. Like many of the things you did, Hassan, would be considered crimes in the European Union. Now, you're in the United States, I get that, right? But like what I'm trying to say is that more money or luxuries doesn't necessarily prevent people from doing crimes. Didn't Hassan at some point, like I may be wrong with this, I may be wrong, but like didn't he talk about hiding an electronic when he went past the border because like he didn't want to pay the border patrol or some shit? I may be wrong. I shouldn't say that. But like, he didn't want to pay tax on the thing. I think it was a smartphone. Whatever. My point is, the idea that people commit crimes just because they're poor is borderline ridiculous. And there is another aspect. Even if you were to give money to certain neighborhoods, right? The idea of joining a gang isn't just like because people are poor. They also want the status. Like, it's a masculine status viewed in that community, right? Like, the women are more impressed. They get moist. And so, like, young men join gangs, usually because of fatherlessness, the culture that doesn't give them a sense of belonging, that doesn't give them a sense of order and hierarchy. Like, the New York Times actually made an article on that. And this is even studied at law school. Like, the people that are educated, they know this, but they don't want to make these talking points. And I'll tell you something else. You can't have a gang unless the politicians are in on it. Like, it's almost impossible. So I'm willing to bet, like, especially in the UK, there are multiple interviews on YouTube where you have, like, people of color talking about the gangs and shit. And they're basically just flat out saying that if you go up the chain, eventually you end up with a politician. And it makes fucking sense, because, like, if the police wanted to crack down on a gang, it would be cracked down. Like, it wouldn't exist. And it's the same in the United States. Like, all the gangs eventually end up with politicians. Or at least people associated with the politicians. Zlixon, thank you for the $2. I would rather take 10 lashes than 10 years. I think everyone would do, right? So, like, my system would basically separate people on various crimes that they committed. Like, it would be intentional crimes are different than accidental crimes. And then you'd also need to separate the people that cannot be rehabilitated. Like, there are certain individuals that are, like, beyond mentally ill. Like they simply do not understand how to live in a society, right? Like, serial killers, for instance, cannibals, that type of people. Like they're simply unable to live in a civilized manner. And so, like, prison wouldn't be for rehabilitation. Like, prison would be to separate them from the law-abiding citizens. And there's also another thing that's never being talked on, but usually people grow out of a crime. Growing out of a crime. Like, when you're reaching the age of 50, most guys are less likely to commit crimes. Like, violent crimes. You're rarely going to see an elderly gentleman committing a crime. So, like, after you're 50 years old, maybe the government should stop wasting money. Just saying. In English, it's a cigarette. Johnny Somali. I guarantee to you, if Johnny Somali was in Saudi Arabia and he got 20 lashes, I think he would stop doing the stuff that he's doing. I think, like, that's all you needed. And I think, like, a lot of... See, this is actually really interesting. Like, what would people like? Because up until now, I noticed that everyone would say that Johnny Somali deserves like 60 years. But my question is like, what if you had the choice? He was in Saudi Arabia or Qatar, and people would have a choice between him getting 100 lashes or 20 years in prison. I'm actually curious, like, what would people say? What would people choose? He would just go to a country that doesn't lash him? Well, yeah, but like hypothetically, every country would. You know, like this is a fictional what-if scenario. Cannibalism is only done by poor people. If they could afford McDonald's, it may be a different story. Oh my god. Most of the time, cannibalism is not done because of hunger or famine. Most of the time, cannibalism is done for religious and superstitious reasons. At least today. But even in the past, actually, right? Like, even in the past with the Aztecs and stuff, yeah, like, cannibalism was always done mostly for spiritual or superstitious reasons. What are my thoughts on the death penalty for some crimes? The only reason that I'm not for it is because of judge error. Like, I wouldn't trust judges to pass this type of sentence. But if it was a system where I knew for sure that every single person responsible actually did it, then I would want it to be done public in a horrifying and shocking manner. Because that's the whole purpose, right? Like, the purpose isn't to just get rid of the offended. The purpose is to send a message through society that this is what happens if you do it, right? Like, that's the actual deterrent. It's not the punishment itself, right? I don't like the idea, out of sight, out of mind, in a little room where no one gets to... No. Has to be in the public market. That's how they used to do it, right? Like, either you do it properly or don't do it at all. Like, if you're not going to do it at all, that's also fine. But if you are going to do it, then do it in a way that's actually dissuading people. Like, what is the purpose of the punishment, right? Like, why do you do it? Well, you do it because you want prevention. You want other people not to commit similar crimes. Remember that one case where a guy ate his son because they had a cannibalism fetish, and his defense was that it was consensual. I don't actually remember that. That's fucked up. Holy shit. I remember reading a story about a plane crash that happened in the mountains, and a few people who survived ate the other dead crew members to feed themselves. Yeah, that's understandable. I'm not going to judge those people. I'm fucking judging. Like if you're in a situation where you're in a ship crash or a plane crash, and you're starving and there's literally nothing there, or if you're starving, like this is actually a question that I asked, and I think like everyone knows what the answer was. But imagine this: you're in a plane crash, you're starving, in front of you is the dead pilot, behind you there is an entire collection of vegan burgers. So you can eat the vegan burgers or you can eat the pilot. And I asked this on the internet, and I think like everyone can imagine the type of answers that I got. Poverty does not cause crime, but crime does cause poverty. I think crime is caused by a series of events. Certain crime doesn't happen if you're rich. Like, for instance, you're not going to see Bill Gates pickpocketing, right? Like, it's insane. You're not going to see Bill Gates do certain low-level crime. You're not going to see Bill Gates do a drive-by shooting, right? Like there are certain crimes that indeed do not happen if the person is rich. But to say that all crime can be fixed if people were rich is absolutely ridiculous. Can anyone survive the vegan burger? Well, from my understanding, like, they keep working on the recipe, and now apparently it's better. But like, there was like this time when they pushed it really hard to the point where I do think it was a grift. If you went, I think like Burger King was the one that was pushing it incredibly hard to the point where you had to specify that you want a burger with meat and you don't want a vegan one. But I forgot the name of it. Was it the Ultra Meat or the Big Whopper? I forgot the name. But anyway, like, they were pushing it so fucking hard. I think it was even government subsidies. Winona Ryder got into trouble for shoplifting. Okay, well, there are people that are mentally ill. Like, you have kleptomaniacs, okay? But, like, just because 0.5% exists doesn't mean that the exception makes the rule. Like, sure, you know, somewhere out there it is perceivable that maybe a rich person desiring the thrill, you know, wanting the adrenaline of shoplifting, they would do it. Or maybe they want to feel powerful. Yeah, the Impossible Burger, yeah. Right? So, like, you may have, like, a couple of rich people that steal and shoplift, but they only do it not because they need money. They only do it because they want the thrill, or they're kleptomaniacs, right? They can't help themselves. As a cop, rich people were about a fourth of the shoplifters. They did it for fun. Yeah, exactly what I'm talking about, right? It's the adrenaline. It's also the edginess, right? Like, you're a teenager. You're driving an expensive sports car. Technically, you're not rich. Your dad is rich, right? You're not rich. So you got a lot to prove. You got a lot to show off. So you're, like, showing off to your friends that you can shoplift. Anyway. What is the most common crime that happens in Romania? I think it used to be shoplifting. Now I don't fucking know. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not tax evasion. I can't say. Because I don't have the stats. But it's probably some petty crime. Probably crimes regarding driving. Right? So, like, hit and... well, probably not hit and runs, but... property damage, that type of shit. You know, drinking and driving. Maybe that. I think, like, that would be the most... I'll actually... Hold on. I can ask ChatGPT. I think... Because, like, ChatGPT probably has access to the stats, right? Pickpocketing and street theft. Apparently, they're overrepresented in the capital. Usually in Bucharest, okay? So, a total in 2022, a total of 19,000 thefts. Well, 19,000 in a country of 20 million is not that bad, in my opinion. And take into account a thief steals more than once, right? So, if we divide by 10, you can probably have 1,900 thieves doing all of the crime. Corruption and scams. Organized crime involves trafficking, smuggling, cyber. Serious but far less common on a daily basis. Violent crime. Rare in cities. Slightly higher in poor rural areas. Murders are at 1 per 100,000 people in 2023. So I think we're good, chat. I think... petty crimes, yeah. V inquires ChatGPT, take a drink. Well, let's see. I got the answer in like 3 seconds. Now, if I was to Google it, and like Google crime statistics in Romania, let's see how long it would take, right? Let's see if you don't like the fact that I asked ChatGPT. So I'm Googling crime statistics Romania. The first answer that I got is from Gemini AI. Gemini AI is now like, look, when you Google something, you get AI overview. Like now it's integrated into the search engine. The first one is Wikipedia. And then I would have like crime index for cities, but like I'm looking at Romania as a whole. Right? Like, I'm not saying, like, this doesn't work. I'm not saying it's a bad method. But, like, it takes a lot more time. It takes at least 1 minute, while ChatGPT gives it to me in seconds. So, yeah, I'm not Googling anymore. I'm sorry. Google, I have to say, you know, when your search engine was cool, and literally the first link was the stuff that I wanted to find, I would use you. But now when you're making it, especially if you look about anything about environmentalism, anything about like that type of stuff, and you gotta dig and dig and dig, I would rather use ChatGPT. That is his stats, sure, but they may not be the actual correct stats. Well, yeah, but like if I already said that petty crime is number one, because I live here and I know shit, and then I use the AI and the first thing that it says is petty crime, well, I tend to believe it. Now, if I was actually doing a study, if I was doing a PhD, then yeah, I wouldn't believe the AI. I would actually look for sources. But if I'm just doing an internet conversation, having a stream, and it's like, oh, by the way, what's the crime rate? Then it's a different thing, right? Yandex is basically the best search engine right now. It's banned in the EU? Get the fuck out. Why is that Yandex banned in the EU? Hold on. The European Union restricts Yandex largely from national security and data privacy. It's a Russian website. EU regulators fear that data harvesting, location, personal history, ride history via Yandex services could be transferred to Russia and used by intelligence agencies. How the fuck is Google not any different? National level bans. Estonia and other prohibit Yandex. Finland, Norway specifically banned the transfer of Yandex ride-hailing data back to Russia. The EU has strongly considered extending these action blocks block-wide, urging member states to remove Yandex apps. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I didn't know it's a Russian company. I'm sorry. The more you know. I thought that Telegram is with the Russian CEO. Oh, Yandex is the property of FSB. All right, I understand now. Google literally owned by the U.S. government, and they do the exact same for the United States. Well, yeah, no, like when I hear data privacy, I'm like, okay, are we comparing it with Facebook, right? Like, is it worse or better than Facebook? Because like at this point, I know nothing on the internet guarantees privacy. Like there's nothing on the internet that's at least on the, normie internet that is private. And so, like, I want to compare it, like, if it's an AI, let's compare it with ChatGPT. Is it more private or less? And if it's social media or a search engine, let's compare it to Google. That's how the conversation should work. Is it like, this website doesn't have privacy? Well, you didn't tell me anything. Because no website has privacy. See, this is going back to what I was talking with Tactical Droid. Because we were talking about Donald Trump and the fact that every nation spies on every other nation. And it's like the same on the internet. Like, I already know that on the surface web, there is no such thing as privacy. Right? So I start from there. And now if you tell me that your thing is private, I gotta wonder, well, compared to what? Right? Like, compared to, let's say, Facebook. Is it more or less? EU, how dare Russia invade your privacy? That's our job. A quick litmus test is this. Who can you sue if there's malfeasance? Google or a company owned or run by Russia or China? I mean, dude, I'm from Romania. Do you think I can sue Google? I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't be able to, but do you think I can afford it? And it's like, okay, let's say Google is hacked and my email and password gets leaked. Do I sue them? It's just... And okay, so because I can't sue them, a government needs to ban them. How does that make sense? Like what if I don't care? What if I already know that no matter what happens, I will never be able to sue them, and I want to use them anyway? It's like, okay, I can't sue them. I'm aware. Yeah, no, sure. Like DeepSeek, for instance. DeepSeek is a Chinese AI, right? I already know that China will have access to everything I post there, everything I do. And I can't sue them, but I want to use DeepSeek. Why shouldn't I? Am I forced to use ChatGPT? Can I sue OpenAI? I don't think that's an argument. Did you see Nexus mods is going to require age verification? Yes, I actually made a video about it. It's not because of Nexus mods, it's actually because of the UK government and the European Union. At this point, social media should just be a public service. Why? The politicians like it, the rich people like it, Oh, the plebs don't like it. Okay, well, when the plebs actually manage to organize and become a voting bloc or some super PAC or, like some way of influencing politics, then they're probably going to care. Until then, they don't. Ban, I never talk about the ban, but if we're talking about what is the worst idea to trust, well, they're both big corporations that don't happen to be in my country. I don't trust either. Like seriously, the idea that, like, trust what? Like I already assume that everything I post there is in the public, and there is no secrecy online. And, all my searches on Google and everything I do is probably indexed, compiled. My data is harvested and used to push it for advertisers or whatever, right? So I don't think that it matters. Like, every time I use a service online, if it's free, I know that I'm the product. The only thing at this point that matters is, like, can it do its job? Like, can Google actually show me what I'm searching for? And if not, if Yandex is better, then, well, can Yandex do the job? And if Yandex is better, then, well, maybe Google should step up and do a better search engine. V arrives at the correct opinion. Democracy only works when the elites already agree. Yes, correct. There are exceptions, though. Like, sometimes you do have... I don't even know if the systems matter that much. Like, between democracy or authoritarianism. Like, look at the French system, right? You had the divine right to rule. You had the King of France, absolute power, absolute everything. And then the French Revolution happened. Why? Because the people were pissed off. Look at Russia. You have the Tsar. And then communism happened. Like, notice how, like, the most bloody revolutions is when people just had enough. At least in democracy, you have, like, a release valve. But in these systems, it's not even that the people that replace the king create a better system. Like, having the French Revolution. Did it create a better system than under the king? Not really. Like, turning against the aristocrats and just overthrowing the system, that doesn't necessarily mean that the new system is better. The vlogger from Cyprus. I love the fact that I already know who you're talking about. That is in the EU Parliament is exposing a lot of crap. I don't think, like, people don't know. Like, most people are already aware. It's just like, as long as nothing bad happens, it will work as intended. Like, here's the thing with the European Union, right? Let's say that you genuinely want change. Like, I genuinely dislike the fact that the European Union is a bureaucratic, over-bloated institution, and I would want to make reforms, right? So let's say I campaign, and by some miracle I actually win. Okay, when you go into the European Union, you're just one person. Like, you're just one guy. You're not part of a party. You don't have any power. You're just one twat. All of a sudden, you get $10,000 per month just by being there. They don't give it to you in your hand, but I think it's like already like a big chunk just by being a EU MP. Then they give you like another $2,000 to hire staff. Then they also pay you, I think it's like $150 just for showing up. Then they give you like a lot of perks and privileges, right? So, okay, you want to reform the EU. And all of a sudden you become one of the most wealthy and rich people in your social circle. Why would you want to reform that? Like, you're moving upwards. That now you're into nobility. You got prestige. Everyone respects you. You're an EU MP. Right? You get contracts as much as 700,000 euros, as someone said. That's the thing. Like even if you're actually trying to improve society, the moment you get elected, the temptation is too much to just be complacent. Modern day armed revolution is impossible. Well, yeah, I mean, the governments have thousands of years of history of studying and understanding how to crack down on rebellion. And that's why, like, the current system is actually the best, because it makes stable systems. You don't really have, like, armed forces overthrowing. Like, this is another thing, a lot of individuals think simplistically. It's like the people versus the government. Usually it's like the people versus the people versus the government. Like, imagine living throughout the revolution, whether it's like the China Mao's revolution or the Soviet revolution or the French revolution. You live in terror not because of the government. You live in terror because the guy is burning your neighborhood. I mean, I remember this actually happened during a Paris revolt recently, where my artist was afraid that the revolutionaries, well, not the protesters, were burning down the cars next door. Right? So, I'm just saying, like, it's not always like the American independence revolution. This is why change cannot be done incrementally. This is also another interesting thing, right? Like, people say democracy doesn't work, right? So, like, we don't have democracy because, like, it doesn't matter how you vote. And the solution to that is an authoritarian system. But, like, don't we already have an authoritarian system? Like, by definition, if democracy doesn't work and no matter who you vote, the situation is the same, then we already have an authoritarian system. And so changing it with another authoritarian system means like the situation will just remain the same. There's no difference. And I do believe there isn't, because now the world is stuck in an international community. It's not just your country. It's like the whole international thing. Like you can't go rogue as a nation. You can't just do whatever you want. Unless you're the United States. And even in the United States, right? Like just because you have the presidency, that you can have the judges, you can have SCOTUS just overruling you. Separatist independent movements are different than revolution. Yes, like then you also have the army and the leaders on your sides. By military backing doesn't mean they necessarily have to be fighting by your side. They just have to abstain from the fight. All governments lead into fascism one way or another. Well, it depends how you define fascism. If you use the communist definition of fascism, then yes. Like, literally everything that's not communism is probably fascist. But, like, if you're talking about fascism like Benito Mussolini, no. By the way, this actually went into a meme. Apparently, Jordan Peterson pissed his eyes again. I don't even know what he talked about. But apparently the British presenter was drinking from a coffee and people are like adding The Simpsons on it. Here's my take. I don't know what the fuck is up with Jordan Pearson, but I actually read this book. And he talks an interesting thing about being a master of your own emotions. And so, okay, you cry once in an interview. I get it. You cry twice in an interview. Hey, it happens. But are we making this a daily occurrence now? Like, I'm not a leftist to shame a man for crying. Like, heavens forbid, you know? Like, everyone can be caught in an emotional moment. But, like, if you're going to make it into an occurrence, then it's like you're not a master of your own emotions. You need mastery over them. You need to be the Grand Massa. What is this? Huh? This, in my opinion, is a picture for great memes. Like, a lot of great memes will flow from this picture, and wouldn't be the first time, though. Pierce is drinking Jordan's tears, yeah. I don't even know if they're set up. Like, it depends what they're talking about. I know that Obama, for instance, like after every single school shooting, he was pissing his eyes. And I'm like, look, don't tell me that the man who authorizes drone strikes in the Middle East on weddings is gonna piss their eyes when they hear about a tragedy in the UN. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Like I think he is capable of showing professionalism. I think, like, you can talk about an issue without pissing your eyes in front of national television. And so that would fall into the fact that, yeah, like, a lot of people are using tears in order to manipulate the public. By the way, this is actually the story of my life. And this is why I always did bad at work. And I never knew why until I realized that, okay, you're not supposed to be this way. But this is literally me, chat. This is literally fucking me, right? Like I have the rude coworker starter pack. Doesn't talk unless spoken to. Spends every break in their car. Has a we're coworkers, not friends mentality. Gives vague answers when asked about weekend plans. Shows up only to do their job and then fuck off. Probably some form of neurodivergent, right? And people are saying, clock in, do your job, don't bother anyone as best as you can, clock out. Almost all of your coworkers now have a personal vendetta against you. Why? Why are people like this? I never fucking understand. I never get it. Like, I had problems at 3 different workplaces for this type of mentality. And the HR, oh my God, oh. We're a team here. We're a family. We play hard and we work hard. And it's like, bitch, I don't like being shot with a Nerf gun from across the office while I'm working. Like, oh Dios mío. Like, do you want me to do a job or not? Oh, you don't want me to do a job because you're not the actual boss. You don't get paid based on profit margins, right? Just leave me the fuck alone. Like, I've paid to do something. I'm doing it. Look, I finished everything I have in 3 hours. And now I'm sitting here for 5 hours doing nothing. Like, this is a management problem, not a me problem. I wasn't the type of person to be in good graces, chat. I was denied overtime because I kept to myself and did my job. Then I got fired for calling out sexism and discrimination. Why, are you a woman? No, like, genuine question. Like, did you call sexism and discrimination for being a woman and they fired you? That's weird. You need to be good at pretending to care about the business and coworkers. You know what's the worst thing? It's when you have to act busy. Like, this was never in my vocabulary. I never understood it. You finish your job, right? There's literally nothing left to do. And you have to act busy. Like, if the boss comes, you need to act busy. Like, what the fuck does that... What do you mean act busy? Well, pretend you're working. But I finished working. What if the boss wants to give me something else? And I would get the stink eye from everyone. And it's like, I don't get it. Like, I was tasked to do something. I fucking did it. Either give me more work or let me go home. Big corporations are starting to build housing at HQ. Oh my goodness. 90% of office jobs are acting busy. Yeah, I think so too. Stop hiring women in executive positions in HR. I actually know why they do that. So there's like many reasons why you want HR. Number one, the main reason to have HR is to justify the HR, right? Because the HR wants diversity. So, like, if you're a company making cars, you don't really want the woman that's like petite and is reaching, like, her head reaches the chest of a man, right? You don't want her to do the heavy lifting. So you still need women for affirmative action, and you place them in marketing, you place them in HR, right? So, like, the HR demands diversity quotas, and in order to fulfill them, you hire more HR. The second reason is because HR is built around the concept of networking. Like, the idea is that the HR knows all the other HRs. And so, like, they know what workers happen to be at another company, how they perform, right? Like, they collaborate with each other. And so, the best people that make these networks are women. And you hire from within. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. The problem that HR is actually a very important position. It is. Like, if you want to change company policy, you don't change the CEO, you change the HR. People who are okay with acting busy are the ones who are the most worried about AI taking their jobs. Maybe. I don't know. Like, yeah, I guess. I think, like, if you're okay with acting busy, you're okay with just, like, being paid to do 3 hours of work and then you don't say anything. Like, when I went to work, I actually enjoyed working for 8 hours because, like, the time moves a lot faster than if you're not doing anything. And if I'm not doing anything, I may as well just go home. Anyway, speaking of, thank you guys for watching the stream. Hopefully you had a good time. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.